Are we about to see a fan favorite character from the Penguin appear in the Batman Part 2? Hey everyone, this is Digital Charcuterie. My name is James. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new to the channel, if you like Batman, if you like the Penguin, if you're looking forward to the Batman Part 2, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to be talking about it, breaking it down, and discussing it with you all until it comes out October 1st, 2027. A long time away, but worth the wait, hopefully, because the way the first one panned out, I thought it was excellent, and I'm looking forward to the second one in the Reeves verse, also the Batman epic crime saga, as it is referred to. Let me know your thoughts of the first Batman movie in the comments down below. Did you like the Penguin also? What do you think of the Penguin? And how much of the Penguin do you think will affect the Batman Part 2? I did a video about over a year ago. I think it was Batman Day, which is in September of 2024. And back then, the rumor was that Matt Reeves had completed the Batman 2 script. That obviously did not pan out. Turned out that was a false alarm, and it has since been complete as of July 2025. But back then, I suspected that perhaps the movie might actually go through more rewrites and whatnot as the Penguin series was coming about, and as the Penguin went along, and Sofia, don't say Falcone, Gigante, her character started becoming more and more established and resonated more and more with viewers of the series. I thought maybe there's a chance that they could utilize her in the film. My suspicions back then were that she would have some sort of role in the Batman 2. Now, some people said, how can that make sense? She's not in the Batman 1. For me, it makes complete sense because she is, of course, the daughter of Carmine Falcone, who is a big part of that first Batman movie. And if you know what happens to him at the end of that movie, that leads perfectly into how she can enter into the Batman Part 2. That being said, that's kind of how her intro played out in the Penguin series. And of course, at the end of the Penguin series, she's kind of back where she started, full circle, but she's in hell, her own personal hell. And she's in there with Julian Rush in Arkham. And so you say, okay, well, how does this all play together now? But then at the end, she gets that letter from Selina Kyle. And of course, in the comics, they are what they are in the movie as well. They have a big connection, and they could play out even more with this connection in the movie. They are half sisters. There's a bloodline there connected through Carmine Falcone. So whatever they think of that, that's where they can all, you imagine that they're going to have some sort of relationship in the Batman Part 2 if this were to pan out. Otherwise, why leave that note? I do think that as the Penguin series was moving along, the script was evolving, and they were kind of taking things that worked in that series, and they're like, okay, well, how do you utilize that? And again, like Sofia Gigante in the Batman Part 2, she might even just be Sofia Falcone in the Batman Part 2. They might just ignore the Gigante part, because when she's back in Arkham, she's probably in there as Sofia Falcone. That's what I would suspect. So I wouldn't go far enough to say that everything that played out in the Penguin you need to know, because that's the other thing. Like, if you didn't watch the Penguin, which I would suspect a lot of people who go to see the Batman Part 2 would not have seen the Penguin. I think a lot of people did see the Penguin, and the viewership showed that and proved that. But at the same time, not everybody watches television. Not everybody watches HBO, and you know what? In the Batman movie, Colin Farrell was not allowed to have a cigar, and he was not allowed to swear. And in the series, he did a lot more than just those two things. He burned people alive. He burned people alive, burned them alive. The show was awesome because it was about evil people doing evil things. And the great thing about that series was, as great as Colin Farrell was, and you cannot understate how fantastic he was. My parents just finished watching it like a couple weeks ago, and I was shocked that they did. They just did it on their own, and they actually loved the series. And my parents hate everything, and they loved the series. And my dad kept asking my mom who the guy who played Penguin was, and he could not believe that it was Colin Farrell. Like, it took him, I think he ended up having to Google it, because I don't think he believed. He's like, what? He could not believe it. He did an astounding job. Obviously, Golden Globe nominee, I think he won, and then nominated for an Emmy. But Cristin Milioti also being nominated for those and the Emmy, of course. And I would say she went toe-to-toe with Colin Farrell every single week, and she ate up the scenery, but she did it in a great way, a believable way, and she was on par with Colin Farrell's Penguin. And I think she's earned and deserves a chance to do that on film. Again, though, it's not a main character. This isn't the main bad guy of the movie, of course. But if the main bad guy is someone like a Dr. Hugo Strange, then you can work your way into Sofia Falcone, Gigante, whatever you want to call her. In that, like, that's your perfect entry point right there, is if you're Hugo Strange. Because Matt Reeves said the villain might surprise some people, and Hugo Strange, it's not utterly surprising, but it's, it's not one of the classic core four villains of Batman, not even the fifth with like Mr. Freeze or something. He's kind of out there and he hasn't been done in a theatrical live action film. So I think that Hugo Strange, there's a lot of villains I'd like to see. So I'm not going to say I'm really hoping for Hugo Strange. Court of Owls is on my list. Obviously, people want Hush. Like, there's a lot of great options. There's very few Batman villains that I would not want to see. To be honest, like whatever Reeves does, I'm like, this is fine. I'm all in. But again, if it's Hugo Strange, then you work your way right in there with Sofia Gigante, and you put in Hugo Strange, and he can also play Penguin as well. So he can oversee everything. But what I'm saying though is, like, the first Batman movie, you have Riddler, you have Joker, you have these villains all around. Penguin, obviously, she doesn't have to be the lead to be a big part of this movie, right? She can have a small little role as long as it's impactful and serves a purpose and doesn't end up on the cutting room floor, of course. Then you can do that. I mean, that Joker deleted scene I thought was fantastic. I kind of understand why they delete. I mean, I absolutely understand why they deleted it, but it is a great little scene. If the movie wasn't already 3 hours, I think you have a better shot at keeping that. But what are you going to do? It is what it is. Filmmaking is filmmaking, and that's how it rolls. But Cristin Milioti has also said that, when she was growing up, Batman Forever was like her favorite movie, and she's always wanted to play a Batman villain. So this is like, she is all in. Like, she's going to push herself into this as much as she can. She did an interview with Deadline where she said she'd really love to play around with Zoe Kravitz on set and do some scenes with her as Catwoman and Sofia, obviously. And she was on the Entertainment Weekly podcast, the Warda's podcast, where she talked about wanting to do it. Like, she is all in. It's reminding me of, if you ever watched and listened to the Jamie Kennedy channel on YouTube, he did a few years ago, maybe more than a few years ago. He talked about kind of how he got into Scream 2. And he wasn't really supposed to be in Scream 2. He had a really great working relationship with Wes Craven. They got along really well. And he really wanted to do it. So he kind of pushed towards it, and he got his agent to kind of push towards it. And they ended up eventually, I think, like somehow convincing Kevin Williamson to write him into Scream 2. And of course, one of the best scenes in Scream. He's my favorite character in the Scream. I love the Scream series, and he's one of my favorite characters, or he is my favorite character in those series. And I love what happens to him in Scream 2. I think it's perfect for the plot, for the characters. It needs to happen to show stakes. You have to do things like that. But it reminded me of him telling that story. It's kind of like, she's kind of like pushing herself, like Alan Richardson, like, I want to play Batman, I'll scream from the top of the rooftops, right? Like actors are putting themselves out there. And now with social media, which Jamie Kennedy didn't have back in the 90s for Scream 2, social media, you can put yourself out there even more. But unlike Alan Richardson, for Batman, Sofia Gigante or Cristin Milioti has a leg to stand on, because she's played this character arguably to perfection. Like, she crushed this role. Everyone loves this role. It resonated highly with audiences. So it's almost like she was daring them to not put her in the Batman Part 2. Again, small role, not a main role, a small role. But it's almost like she was daring them not to put her in that movie. So time is going to tell what's going to happen. Everyone's been very tight-lipped on it. James Gunn is saying that, only 6 people have read this. But all of this rumor stuff comes around from Jeff Sneider on the Hot Mic podcast about 4 days ago now, whatever it was. He was with John Roca, and he said he heard rumblings, and he heard that she might be in the Batman 2. And he didn't want to come out and outright say it because of James Gunn's reaction last time with the Robin news. But also, Jeff Sneider also said that anytime he got any kind of information on the Batman 2, he was going to leak it just to stick it to James Gunn. So if he heard something about Sofia Falcone, Gigante, he's going to let you know. And he did let us know. And because of that, I thought, let's talk about it, because I am all in. I'm bringing her into this movie. She's a part of the universe, a part of the world, but not for everybody. The people who didn't watch the HBO show don't even know she exists. So let's make her exist to the overall theatrical audience and the small screen audience. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Sofia, yay or nay in the Batman Part 2? Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Give us a like and a subscribe. And until next time, may you be the master of your own universe.